You will learn how to mock an API response just using Intercept in Cypress. As you can see in this example, we have an application named to-dos, right? Where we have two initial to-dos in the to-do list, right? But as soon as I mock my API response and I send another parameters, you can use Intercept to send them and make your test, all right? So for example, if we come here, even we can mark and to-do list as ready if you want to test something in particular. So if you want to learn how to use Intercept with Cypress, please stay tuned because we're gonna do it step by step so you can understand this concept. Thank you very much for watching the video, and let's go ahead. Alright, before we start, please let me just introduce myself. I'm JoanMedia and I'm currently uploading videos of Cypress, so please, if you want to keep learning about it, please subscribe and keep posted about the last videos, because I'm trying to upload a video every single week. All right, so as I told you in the introduction, I have this to do MVC test automation in Cypress website, right, where we can add and delete to-dos in a to-do list. All right, this data is coming from a JSON database, right, that I have here in another project. And well, you can place more to-dos or delete them. So for example, if I come here and I send, for example, test2, you will see that this new to-do is added in the list, and also in the JSON file is gonna be another parameter, right? So in this case, I don't want to start working with this. I want to mock API responses, right, with Cypress. So I'm gonna start working with my Cypress framework. So I'm gonna just do the normal way, the normal thing that I have told you in the past videos, right? I'm gonna start with a describe. Right, in this describe, what I'm gonna do is call this intercept demo. Okay. We're not gonna receive any parameter. We just want to start writing our tests. So I'm gonna start with the first it. Okay, this it is gonna be named. Let me just use the template here. That's good. I'm gonna name this it as initial validation. All right, initial validation. As soon as I logging in my, or actually load my application, right, what I want to do is visit my website. Okay, CY.visit. I want to go to my website localhost here. And once this is done, I want to make some validations just to make sure that the website is uploading the correct data. Okay, so how I can do this? Basically, I want to make sure, or I want to see what are the selectors that I can use for validate the test over here and the wash dishes strings or text. Okay, I can see that this is a structure that has an UL and then an LI under that. So that LI has the text, right, which is inside of label. I'm sorry. But we can use this structure to get the test. So what I am gonna do here is, use this ID at first, and I'm gonna look for the LIs that it has inside of it. All right, that's good. Now what I want to do here is start with my assertions. I can use a should here, and I want to make sure that as soon as the application is loaded, I have two to-dos in the list, right, as the database is set at this moment. So I want to come here and I want to make sure that my list has half a length. I think that I'm writing this wrong. Yeah, now it's good. And here we have to specify the number of to-dos in the list. Now this assertion should be working fine, and I also want to use another assertion using and to make sure that it contains, for example, the word or actually the to-do test here. That's good. And then I want to make another and with a contain to make sure that it also has the another to do, which is wash dishes. All right, wash dishes. I save this and I want to try this again. I'm gonna go to the test runner that I have open already, and I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna look for the intercept folder inside of integration, right? And I'm gonna, well, click on this to execute the test script. And as you can see, well, the website or the application has loaded correctly. It is visiting localhost, and then as you can see, here we have a get well, response actually, yeah. And as you can see, we have two buttons here at the bottom of the website. We have a request, and after the request is done, the response has the test item and the wash dishes item, right? Just have that in mind. Then I just come here, I look for the to-do list ID and all the LIs inside of it, and then I make the assertions to make sure that we have two items in the to-do list, and then the test to do and the wash dishes to do. That's good. Now let's go ahead and try to mock up the API response using this get API response that I have here, all right? And you may be wondering how we can do this. That's what I'm gonna do. And I have another thing here that I wanted to bring to you, and it is the explanation of why mock API responses might be useful. And the reason is because during development and testing, when live data is either unavailable or unreliable, well, using we can use mock APIs to work concurrently on the front end and back end. So we can mock different responses, we can take a look of different behaviors before we have a real life API, for example. Just and you can use this information for different scenarios in your testing life, right? So I'm gonna create another it. It is gonna be called mocked API response. Okay. As soon as I have done this, what I want to do here is give you an example of how we can get the response of data that we have in our application. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna go to my Google Chrome, right? And I want to go to the Google Chrome inspector, right? The dev tools, and click on the network tab. Okay. What I want to do next is upload. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. I'm gonna open another Google Chrome. I'm gonna just come here, localhost. I'm gonna inspect the website and then click on the network tab. As soon as I have done this, what I want to do also is clear my network recording and then refresh the website again, right? And as you can see in this tab, we have different network files and also the status, or actually network kind of responses and the status codes. We have all the files here about what is being happening in the network. And if you want to take a look of the get post that we have, or actually the get response that we have in the Cypress test, do you remember that I told you about this get 200 to-dos? If you want to take a look more in depth about it, you can come here and look for example, the to-dos file that I have found here, all right? And this is the response that we can mock to get our items in the application, okay? So I'm gonna copy this just to have the proper way or the proper format that the application is having, or the API is managing, right? I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna come to the fixtures file, right? I'm gonna create another folder named intercept, and inside of intercept I'm gonna create, I'm gonna create a file .json named intercept fixture, right? And I'm gonna paste the whole response here, and we can modify this, all right? We can set different values to this fixture, so we can mock the API response and send the parameters we want to send, all right? So in this case, I want to, for example, change test from test to, for example, Cypress assertion video, okay? Then I want to create another to-do named, for example, page object model Cypress video, okay? And then I want to create another to do, just to have an example in different cases, right? I'm not sure, just to give you different points of view. I'm gonna create another another to do, okay? And it is gonna be named, for example, Intercept Cypress, okay? And it is gonna have the ID number 3. That's good. Now that I have the response in a fixture file in the fixtures folder, I wanna use this fixture file to mock my API response. And the way that we're gonna do this is using taking a look of, for example, in the test runner, we have the route where we can try to mock the get API response, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is, create or actually use a CY.INTERCEPT command. Here we specify, for example, the HTTP method that we wanna intercept. In this case is get, and then we specify the URL of, or actually the path in this case that we want to intercept. In this case is to-dos, okay? Once this is done, I just have to pass the intercept, or actually, I'm sorry, the fixture file that is gonna be that we want to mock, okay? In this case, it's gonna be it's gonna have this syntax, okay? It's gonna be fixture, okay? And in the object notation, we specify the folder where my JSON is located. In this case, is intercept, okay? And intercept fixture.json, okay? And as soon as you have done this, I want to make sure that you understand why I'm passing this path here, and that's because it is inside of fixtures, and inside of fixtures we have the folder intercept, and inside of intercept we have intercept fixture.json, okay? That's good. Once I have done this, I think that the get HTTP method and this request is gonna be intercepted, and we're gonna pass the parameters or the response that we have in the fixture file, okay? Now I just have to do a cy.visit. It is gonna have the same value that I have inside of the first it, and if I, for example, if I log for example a test, just to make sure that the intercept is working, and I come to the test runner again, it is saying that intercept is not defined. Let me see what is happening. Intercept is not defined. Intercept. I'm not sure why it's not working. Let me see. Intercept. Something is wrong, I think, right? Let me see. Let's see what is happening. Intercept is not defined. Could it be because of the function of the arrow function? Let me see. The test runner again. It is not intercept. Let me see what is happening. Just see why that intercept. Yeah, this sending a get, or actually we're trying to intercept the get response. We're sending the to-dos. Yeah, and we're sending the fixture here. I think it should be working fine. Let me see. If I execute this again, intercept is not defined in the line. All right, I think that I have found the issue here. Intercept. Maybe the folder is Let me see. Oh, I see. What is wrong here? Well, the path, yeah, of the fixture should be inside of or actually used as a string, right? Yeah. So if I save this again, you can see that, well, the API response has been mocked. Actually, you can see the route here where we are intercepting a get method, the URL to this. It is saying that it is actually stopped here, right? And as you can see in the application, when I am loading the data, well, I have the Cypress assertion video, page object model Cypress video, and intercept Cypress. And that's the data that we have in the fixture, right? Inside of this folder intercept fixture.json. That's good. Now we have mocked our API response. There is something else that you have to be aware. We can alias this intercept, so you can use it in the future. For example, if you have this in a before each, you can use an alias to call the fixture or the intercept itself. How you can do that? But, well, you just have to use the word as get, for example, to-dos using fixture. Okay, that's good. I'm sorry. And as you can see here, well, now the route that we have in Cypress, it has an alias, so you can use it in a future. Just to have that in mind. I hope that later on we can take a look of more deeper overview of alias. All right. So now that we have mocked our API response, right? I want to make sure that everything is working fine. I'm gonna just copy this code that I have here to make the assertions. So in this case, now when the API response is mocked, well, we now should have 3 different to-dos, right? And it should have also another and here. Well, now we should be matching the fixture titles. Okay, for example, Cypress assertion video, right? Now the list should have the page object model Cypress video, and the last one is intercept Cypress. Okay, that's good. Now if I execute again my application, you will see that, well, as soon as the application is mocked, now we have new data and we have more lists to take a look and make sure that everything is working fine in the API. Okay, so let me just give you another example of how you can, let me just give you this example. If you click on this button, well, how can say this? The task, the to-do list, right, is marked as ready. Okay, well, it has a patch, but also if you take a look of the database in the JSON file, the completed attribute, or actually the key, is changed from false to true. All right, so we can mock that also. We can send a to-do list already well marked as ready to make sure that, for example, has the correct CSS format. It has this line in front of the text. So how we can do this? I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna create another it. Okay, I'm gonna use the it that is already created, and well, it is gonna be named, for example, mocked ready to-do list. Okay, it is gonna be a function, and inside of this it, I'm gonna create a const. Okay, and I'm gonna create a stop example, for example. Stop example. It's gonna contains an array of objects, just as the fixture, right? And inside of this object, I want to send the parameters. All right, the title. I'm gonna call this, for example, mocked API to do video. And then I just want to also send the completed parameter. Right, that's good. And in this case, instead of false, I'm gonna send this true. So the application should, well, for example, bring the line that I want to make sure and test that. And also, for example, I want to send the ID, right? Because I need, or actually the response is requesting an ID. And this ID is gonna be the number 1. Okay, that's good. Now the stop example object is being created, and we can use this constant, which is an object, right? And send it by or using the intercept. How we can do this? Well, the next step here is using again the intercept command, and we'll use the get method, right, again, and we'll look for the to-dos path, and then we have to send the stop sample, right? How we can do this? Well, the way to do this is using well, an object here is gonna be body, and the body as the key, and then we have to send the well, the object that we, or the array of objects that the application is expecting, right? So in this case it is gonna be stop sample. And I think that I can use also an alias here just to show you that you can use it later. And in this case I want to name this get to-dos, and I'm not using fixture, right? I'm using body in this case. And if I come here, I want to, well, CY log here something just to make sure that everything is working fine in the test runner. And as you will see here, well, probably probably, I'm not sure, it should be mocking the API response differently. Mock API ready to do, let me see, log. Something is wrong, right? And I think that I'm missing something here, and I have found it. I'm gonna use CY visit and then I have to pass the URL that I have here. And then it should be working now. Let me see. And as you can see, I have a mocked API video marked as ready, and we can actually test the line here, right? The CSS that it is working fine. So I'm gonna try to do that just pretty quick. I'm finishing the video, but I want to show you how you can check an CSS property. Okay, let me just make this better. And I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna select this element, and as you can see, the label here has, for example, I think that it has a text decoration right here as line true, and also the color here is well, different, because if you click here, you'll see that the text color is different, and it has a decoration line true inserted. So I want to make sure that it is happening when the mocked API response is sent or actually set as true. Okay, so how I can do that? Well, I'm gonna use an assertion, a simple assertion here. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna use the command cy.get, because I have to look for the element at first. Okay, I have to look at this, and it is the label inside of the li div. Okay, so it should be pretty simple, I guess. We can use a div and the label, because it is probably div and the only label inside of this, right? Inside of a div, and I'm correct. So I'm gonna use div label, and inside of this, what I want to do here is we'll make sure that using the should command that have CSS attribute, and the thing that I want to make sure that is working fine is the text decoration. If you remember correctly, it had line true. Sorry, so let me see, the line true. No, it's working fine. It is also changing inside of it a solid and the RGB color to 217 217 217. And well, I know this because I have tested before, and I just want to make the video faster, right? So if I come here, well, as you can see, it is actually checking that, and it has something different. Probably because I wrote something wrong. So I'm just gonna come here with disagreeing the value, but the value was, and this is the correct value that I want to check. So I'm gonna copy this and just paste it in my assertion here. if I execute this again, you can see that the assertion is working fine. It is actually validating that it has the line true, and the color is changed as expected when we mocked the API response and we checked that the API is, or actually we changed the completed key to true, right? So that's a very pretty and simple example of intercept. You can do this more advanced and use it in your daily life cases, right? But yeah, that's a good introduction to use intercept. We can then take a look of how to create users, to validate API responses, right? The duration, the different responses parameters that we have, and so on. So thank you very much for watching the video. Please subscribe if you want to keep learning about Cypress, and see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and see you next one. Bye bye.